What happens when you treat your father exactly like he treated you? My father, Roland, owned 17 car dealerships across 3 states. He had a house in Aspen, a condo in Miami, and a main estate with 8 bedrooms that sat empty because he lived alone. He was worth about $40 million depending on the market. We knew this because he told us constantly. He'd pull out his phone at dinner and show us his portfolio. Look at that, he'd say. That's what hard work gets you. My money. I earned every cent. Nobody helped me, and I'm not helping anybody. That included his kids. My brother Jason, my sister Diane, grew up watching other people's parents buy them school supplies, pay for college, and help with first apartments. Roland bought nothing. I worked at Subway at 14 to buy my own clothes. Jason delivered pizzas to pay for his broken tooth repair. Diane cleaned office buildings at night during high school to afford textbooks. Roland would watch us leave for our jobs and say the same thing every time. Good. You're learning the value of money. When you make your own, you'll appreciate it. Meanwhile, he bought a new Porsche every year. Not because he needed it, but because he could. He'd park it in the driveway when we visited, keys sitting on the kitchen counter, making sure we saw what his money could buy. But never for us. Only for him. The breaking point came at Diane's wedding. She'd saved for 3 years, planned everything herself, and chose the cheapest options for everything. Roland showed up in a new Bentley, wearing a watch that cost more than the entire wedding. During his father of the bride speech, he actually said, Diane planned this all herself, paid for it herself. I didn't give her a penny. That's how I raised my kids, to be independent. Some of you probably think I should have helped, but handouts create weakness. The other parents looked horrified. Diane smiled because that's what she always did, but I saw her hand shaking around her champagne glass. That night, I started planning. Roland had one weakness. He was obsessed with exclusive things. Private clubs, limited releases, and invitation-only events. He needed everyone to know he had access to things they didn't. So I created something he couldn't have. I started an investment fund called Legacy Partners. I made a website, created marketing materials, and printed glossy brochures. The hook was simple. Minimum buy-in of 50 million, but the first round was invitation only, and invitations were hereditary. You could only get in if your children vouched for you. I leaked information about it to his golf buddies. Told them my kids were part of the founding board, that we were selecting 10 families for the initial round. The returns we were projecting were insane, but believable if you understood the markets we were targeting. Technology patents, international real estate, and emerging markets. Everything Roland loved. Within a week, Roland called me. Heard about your fund? He said casually. Sounds interesting. I kept my voice neutral. Yeah, it's going well. We're almost full. He cleared his throat. So, how does someone get information about joining? I explained the children vouching requirement. He laughed. That's ridiculous. What do kids know about money? Everything they learned from their parents, I said. Or didn't learn. The line went quiet. 2 days later, he called again. This Legacy Partners thing. My golf buddy Richard got in. His kids vouched for him immediately. Must be nice, I said. Having kids who want to help you access opportunities. Another long pause. The calls kept coming. Roland started mentioning how successful his dealerships were, how much money he had to invest, and how he was looking for new opportunities. But I never offered. Neither did Jason nor Diane. He trained us well. We didn't help anybody, not even him. 3 weeks in, Roland invited all 3 of us to dinner at the most expensive steakhouse in town. He never invited us to dinner. He never paid for our food. But there he was, ordering $100 steaks, talking about family and legacy and building things together. So about this fund, he finally said over dessert, I think it would be good for all of us if I got involved. Why would it be good for us? Diane asked. We're already on the board. We don't need investors. We need the right investors. People whose children believe they deserve to be part of building something special. Roland's face changed. Are you seriously going to block me from this opportunity? Your own father? Jason leaned forward. Did you seriously block us from every opportunity our whole lives? Your own children? Roland looked between us. That was different. I was teaching you to be independent, and you succeeded, I said. We're so independent we don't need you at all for anything, including this. He sat back in his chair. The check came. For the first time in my life, I watched Roland pay for our dinner. He thought it would change something. It didn't. A month later, Roland called me crying. Full story on channel. Link below.